All right. So as I was saying, I said SAS is a what? Is a CSS preprocessor, and what it does that was it reduces repetition of CSS and therefore saves time. Now, style sheets are always we always get larger. So for instance, imagine that you're working on a particular application that has that has a lot of pages, right? And then those pages you have to style all of them. Probably talking about 5,000 to 6,000 to 7,000 lines of code, isn't it? A lot of code. Like I'm talking a very large amount of application. Now, what SAS does is that it can help you maintain those CSS codes so that you don't have to repeat, especially class names. So what am I saying? Let me explain what I'm trying to say. So for instance, you have this place right now, right here, whereby you have so where's my start of it? Very good. You have this place whereby you have dot logo, right? Then if you come down here, what do you have here? An img, right? What is being repeated here? Logo, right? Now this is what SAS helps you do. Instead of having dot logo right here, dot logo in this place, and then you now have dot logo img, I can easily just come here and say what? Img, right? And then I can have width of what? 100 pixels. Now I can easily go ahead and delete this. Now, what has this just helped me do? That helped me what? Remove that repetition. I don't necessarily have to what? Repeat class names. So I have yes dot logo, but right here what I now have is what? Dot logo then img. You understand? Now that is what SAS will help you do. Is it clear? Now it just helps you what? Avoid repetition. Now, how do you install your SAS? So first of all, I want you to do something, which is to first of all download the particular extension called SAS compiler. SAS compiler. So live, yeah, so you see live SAS compiler right here. No. Live SAS compiler that has clean marks. This one. So check for live SAS compiler, the one with what clean marks. Yeah, no Glenmarks. Have you seen it? Go ahead and install it. So once you've installed it, let me know. Have you installed it? Eh? All right, good. So if you've installed it, now you can just leave it. Now, what I want you to do is what I need to create a file called style.scss. Now, I think you've created style.css before, right? Now, just change this CSS to what? SCSS. So right click on this CSS. Then can you say, okay, you know what? Let me just start with a new file entirely. So let's call this index.scss. So we'll call it the new one, that's the SCSS file. We'll call it what? Index.scss. SCSS. Yeah? So the one that you download is the one with Glenmarks. Can you see it? The one that Glenmarks did. Yeah, so download that one. So if you've been able to create you should have this logo right here. Index.scss. Is that what you have? Again, the file extension of your SCSS file, Mr. Progress, are you here? File extension of your SCSS file is what? .scss, just like your HTML. .html. Sorry? SCSS. Yes. The file extension of HTML is what? .html. For CSS, it is what? .css. Then for SCSS, is also what? .scss. Now, that is what you use in what? Opening up the file. Now, right here, I'm just going to replicate what I did with this place, what I did here. So I'm going to copy all of these codes and paste in my SCSS file. Control A, Control X. I'm pasting my SCSS file. Now, why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I'm doing that because I want to convert everything that I've written into what? SCSS. You understand? Everything that I've written into SCSS. And how do you write SCSS code? Now, just like I said, what is the main purpose of SCSS? Repetition, right? Now, in this place, you have logo. Are you listening? You have logo, and then you have what? You have dot logo, and then you have what? Image, which is img. Now, in this place, if I want to avoid repetition, all I have to do is just write inside of this logo, instead of using this dot logo again, I can just carry all of these things, cut, and then I can place inside of this place. Do you understand? Now, that is exactly how I can avoid repetition. Sorry, that's a mistake. Okay. Why? Good. Interesting. Now I can delete this particular logo that's here. You understand? So what have I just done? Instead of having dot logo, so I'm just going to still keep this here for reference. Now, instead of having dot logo, right, I'm still having dot logo img. What is happening? All I have is now is what? Dot logo and then what? Img inside of this dot logo. You understand? That means if you have multiple elements, so if you have, so for instance, you have header, under header you have dot logo, under header you still have what? Dot nav, right? How am I going to call nav? I'm going to write my header first, style my header, then I can now also put what? Nav inside and also style nav. Dot nav, rather, sorry, dot nav. You understand? Now that is exactly what SCSS is talking about. Now in this place, similarly, you have nav.links, isn't it? How am I going to style all of these things? I can easily come in and just have what? Nav, right? Then take this dot links. Let me remove this. Then paste here, isn't it? Now this one that has nav.links A, how am I going to do it? Anybody? Instead of the dot links, right? Good, that's it. So instead of that, I cannot carry this and put it inside of these dot links. You understand? So we now have what? Nav dot links, then dot link now has what? A. Do you understand it now? Now, similarly, you have what? Nav dot btn. How am I going to do this? Where is it going to be? Instead of the nav, right? So where the link stopped here, right? Which means I can put it inside of this place. So I can just carry my dot btns, Control X, and then I can paste it here. See. Do you understand? Now that is exactly how it is done. Now this one is now what? Nav.btns and what? Span. Now you see how we are avoiding repetition. This is now where would this span be? Inside of the buttons, exactly. So I can also still carry this and paste it right here. Then I can remove this. Do you understand? So now you only have one nav created, and then you can now nest, just like you have in your HTML, whereby you are nesting. So inside of nav, you have what? New, and you have links, right? It's the same thing you have with SCSS. You now can now easily what? Nest codes. Now, similarly with the header. Yeah. You see? No, I just created a new one to show you. We'll still return to start CSS. You can create any file if you want. You can even still use index of SCSS if you want. It's not. We will get there. Just first of all, understand that it's not. I will explain why it is not. Now, we have what? Header right here, isn't it? Now, instead of header, you also have what? Dot text, right? Where will this dot text now be instead of header, isn't it? So I can copy this out or cut this out and paste it instead of my header. Then you have dot text, then what? Dot txt. Where is it going to be? Instead of text. Good. So instead of text, yeah. So instead of text right here. So I'm also going to cut this out. Now you have header dot text dot what txt, then hash head. Where is it going to be? Inside txt, right? Good. The same thing again. You cut it and then you paste it inside of txt. This is immutable. Okay. So what's wrong? So you paste it out, Control X, and let me just paste it here first. Then you have it here, Control X. Yeah. So right here now you also have the same thing. You have header dot text, then what dot txt, and then you have what light. Now where is it going to be? Inside where? Inside head. Are you sure? Inside txt. See it. Header dot text, then what dot txt. It's going to be inside of where? Where's it going to be? TXT now, exactly. TXT is exactly the same thing. So let me just still cut this out. Let me cut this out and also still put it inside of TXT. So TXT. Now, this one you have header dot text dot txt, then small. Where is it going to be? Yeah? TXT, good. I hope everybody's following. This one that I'm not really hearing everybody's voice. Is everybody following? Do you understand it? You don't understand it. What don't you understand? So let me just create another example so you understand what I'm trying to say. So let's say new.scss. New.scss. Now, in your index.html, you have nav, right? If you want to style links in nav, what will you write? Nav.what? .links, isn't it? Now, what SCSS is trying to tell you is that you don't necessarily have to do this. All you have to do is do what? Nav, open your nav, and then you can also have your what? Links. This is what SCSS is saying. Now, instead of me having nav on two lines, so I have nav here. I'll now come and still have nav.links here. All you have to do is what? So this right here, a background color of black. So let's just have this all of this here. And in this place, I can also have what? So let's say, let me just accept this. Now, this is nav.links, right? Now, this right here is still the same thing as this. Me taking all of these things here, taking all of these things in this place and pasting it here. And also taking this and pasting it here. The only difference is that I don't have to define this twice. I can easily just define it once. And then after I'm done with my nav, go to the next line, open my what? My dot links. Open up another what? Curly braces and put in my quotes there. That's exactly the same thing. So what again? What this is is trying to stop is what? Repetition. You don't have to always repeat codes every single time, so that you don't have to like. So for instance, I wrote nav here. I'm not writing nav.links here. You understand? So this is not. It doesn't really look good if you are doing this every time. So that is basically what SCSS is trying to cover. Is it clear to you now? Any other person having issues with it? Mr. Celestine, is it clear? All right, good. So now, right here, I'm just trying to rearrange it. So looking at header now, you have header, dot text, and BTNs. Inside of where will your BTNs go into? You have header, dot text, dot BTNs. Inside of which div? Inside of text. You understand? Because text is what? Is what you have. You have BTNs inside of what? Text. So that's where you put your text. So I can copy this right now, and I can put my what? My BTN in X. So this is text, right? Where the text stops, I can put it here. Still inside of what? Text. Now I need you to check something. If I over on this, what can you see here? Header, dot text, and then what? Dot BTNs. Meaning that what your dot BTN is still under text. That's what SCSS does for you. You understand? Now, similarly, you have what? Dot BTNs and what? Button. Now, your button is going to be under where? Dot BTNs. You understand? So, where am I going to put this? I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it here. Now, can you see what it is trying to like stop now? What it's trying to like curb? It's just trying to make sure that your code looks neater rather than just having what? Multiple, what's the name? Repetition of codes or repetition of what's the name? Divs or sections. You don't have to repeat sections every time. Just repeat it. Just say it once and what? Nest all other elements under it, inside of it. That's all. So similarly, you have what? Header. So that's how you keep doing it. You understand? Now, okay, let me just first of all remove some of this thing. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done. So we have header, dot text, dot BTN, dot icon. Your dot icon will not be inside of what? Mr. Samuel. Exactly. It's going to be inside dot BTN. So all I have to do is just copy this now and put it, and this is dot BTNs, right? Stops here. So I can go ahead and put it inside. Do you understand it now? That's all. That's all. Now, your dot image is, I think your dot image, let's check our HTML. Your image, yes. So I'm looking for image. Now, your image is a div on its own. You understand? Now, in your index of SCSS, now your dot image is like the parent. Now, you have image, dot image, and img. Your img is going to be on that way now. Dot image. You understand? So I can remove this and put it inside what? Dot image. So I can put it here. Do you understand? You also have what? TXT. TXT is not going to be on that way. Dot image. Still copy it again, do the same thing. So now it's taking time because I'm explaining, of course, but it is actually way more faster doing this like this. Doing it like this. Now, you now have what? TXT head and span. Where is it going to be? Dot image, dot TXT, and hash head. Where's it going to be? TXT, right? Good. So you can copy it and then you can what? Paste it in TXT. Then also, similarly, your span, the same thing. You have what? Where your span be? TXT. Like that. So now you have this. So now you've been able to create a new SCSS, what's the name? I don't know. Okay, import like mobile. Yes, you can. So now, good question. So you're talking about this, right? Eh? Now, that is one thing that SCSS helps you do easily. The reason why I explain imports first in CSS is because SCSS makes imports more, like it does it seamlessly and easily. In our next class, we'll talk about imports. I will also still talk about imports today. But in our next class, we'll talk about imports more. Now, before that, let me just copy this out. Let me just comment it out. We'll talk about it today. So now, moving on, how then do you now access SCSS in your code, in your HTML? That's one question that you need to, and that you need to, that we need to be able to answer. How do you access this SCSS code in your HTML? Do I just come here and say, instead of star.css, I can just say index.scss, right? That also works. Why are you looking at me? That also works, isn't it? Exactly. So we can do that, right? All right. So now the reason why you cannot access SCSS directly in your HTML is because now certain things are not built for. Now, for instance, if you are using React or any framework now, they have certain dependencies that you can just install, and then you easily have SCSS in your project, right? But in this case, you've not installed SCSS. What you just installed is a compiler on that's your extension, right? That's the only thing they have. So what you have to do is to what? After writing your SCSS code, you have to compile it and change it to what? A CSS code. It's not the CSS you now go ahead and what reference here. Now, what am I saying? It's not hard. I can come to my index.scss. Can you see watch SARS down here? Yeah? Now, wait, don't worry, you click on it. Now, I want you to note something. Note what happens here in this aspect of the code after I clicked on what SARS. Now, if I click on what SARS, what will happen? Just note this place. What happened? Yeah? Something added. Now, in your code, now you now have what? Index.css and index.css.map. Now, just leave this one. This one is not important. The most important one is what? Index.css. So if you check it out now, you have what? A proper CSS code. Do you understand? So it helps you compile it to CSS. So all you just have to do is what? Go ahead in your HTML, access your index.css. Do you understand? Now, all you have to do is what? Forget about your index.css and come here and start writing your code. It will keep compiling. So what am I saying? If I just comment this out now, or comment and I save, what will happen here? Same thing happened. As you can see, you can no longer see span. What's that? What is you can actually put everything inside of the organization. I didn't hear you. Like I said, your normal HTML or your normal VS Code does not have certain things installed to run SARS. So what you have to do is that you need to first of all install the compiler, which you did, which is your live SARS compiler. So after installing it, you write your SCSS. Then you now run the word search, which is your word compiler. It now compiles everything you've written in SCSS to what? CSS, meaning that the code you will have will be a CSS code. It is not that CSS code you link to what? To your HTML. You will not forget about the CSS and focus on your SCSS. So it's just helping you link, you understand? Arrange it in CSS. You understand? That is why if you check index of CSS here, what do you have? CSS code. But in this place, what do you have? SCSS. So it is just going to compile it into what? A CSS so that your HTML can recognize it. Yes. It will automatically generate it for you. You understand? That answers your question then. Is it clear? Is it clear to everybody? Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Mr. Celestine? Who else is not clear to? Is it clear to you? Okay. Okay, let me just answer this question first. Okay, so let me show you what I'm saying, Mr. Celestine. Credit balance. All right, so that is what I'm saying. I have to delete all this thing. Let me delete it. Does not have any use. We'll check it out together. I'm coming. Actually, I've not checked it out before, but we'll check it out now to see what it does. So this is what I'm saying, Mr. Celestine. your HTML or your normal vanilla code. Now, this is what they call vanilla code, vanilla JavaScript or vanilla HTML. That's like a pure HTML, no frameworks. Now, your pure HTML does not have the required dependencies or required packages to run SCSS. Now, SCSS is actually a big framework. No, not framework actually. Preprocessor of CSS. So it is used in project standard kind of settings. So you have to run frameworks with it. Now, if you now want to use it with your normal HTML and CSS, yeah, how do you use it? Now, this is how you use it. First of all, you download the live source compiler, which I told you to install your extension. Then, after writing your CSS code, SCSS code, you now what compile those CSS to what? Those SCSS code to what? A CSS code. Now, it's that CSS you now link in your HTML. That's what I'm trying to say. So if I come here now and I watch SAS, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to try and watch SAS again. So you see what I'm saying? Watch SAS. Note this place. What happened? Automatically generated what? Index of CSS for me. Now, if you check index of CSS, I cannot link it to my what? What am I linking? Index of CSS, not SCSS. SCSS will not work. What will work is what? CSS. Now, if I now come here and I write anything, so let's say I now just go ahead and write anything here. So in my span, I need you to note something. Note this place. You see that the last is what? Font rem of 0.8. If I come here and I say font size of 1 rem, I need to note what's going to happen. In my index of CSS, what do you have? Font size of what? 1 rem. So it is not this one that your HTML is reading. Though you're not writing anything here, you're only writing something where? In this place. So it's not automatically going to what? Convert to CSS code here so that your HTML can understand what you're writing. That's what is happening. You understand it now? That's basically what is happening. So once you've watched your SAS file, all you have to do is forget about this one. You don't need it because it's automatically going to compile for you. You understand? So now, index of CSS.map. So I actually don't know, but from what I'm seeing here, I think it's basically joining your what? SCSS and CSS together. So that whenever you run something on, yeah, can you see it? So whatever you work on in your SCSS, what automatically shows in your what? On your CSS. So I think that's basically what it's working on. But I've not really checked that before. So now that is what your live SAS compiler will do for you. The live SAS compiler will automatically convert it to CSS. You have a question? It's your choice. It's your choice. You understand? So it depends. Again, I think the problem is that the problem is just to go through that stress of creating your live compiler. Now, let me tell you one thing about SCSS. It makes things easier for you. Okay, go ahead. You have a question. You actually have CSS. This kind of CSS. Like you have to. The difference is you are not writing anything in CSS. You are writing SCSS. So it just compiles it into CSS. Yes. Yes. Exactly what happens. So this is what happens. I listen. This is what happens. You say? You understand? Just create SCSS, write your SCSS, run your live SAS compiler. It converts it to CSS code for you. Now, what you are writing is SCSS, but what is being linked to HTML is what? CSS. You understand? So you don't need to worry about CSS. Just worry about SCSS and compiling. That's all. So it makes it easier while writing code. Again, some people feel like CSS is easier. can learn Tailwind. You can learn Tailwind anytime. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that some skills are better picked up on your own. You understand? So if I decide to teach you Tailwind now, but it is going to take like a while, probably like a month, 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Yes, you can. Can use it. Yes. You don't need to install it. Now, the same way you use Tailwind, you now have to have another CSS code that will not help you convert the Tailwind into CSS that you connect. So because why there is no, and you can use their normal link. There's an API link, a CDN that you can copy from Tailwind official website. But this class is not about Tailwind. This class is for what? SCSS. So SCSS is something you can easily teach in 2 days. Sorry, SCSS is something that you can easily learn 2 days, 3 days. You've gotten it. 1 week max, you've gotten it. But for me to explain Tailwind, it's going to take a longer, and you have 3 months to understand what's the name. You see, it's not hard, but you also have to like explain it to everybody. And apart from that, you probably have a little bit of experience in Tailwind before, right? How many of us have experiences in Tailwind again? You understand why it's going to be harder for other people. That's why you cannot do it. You cannot go. If you want to learn Tailwind personally, you can reach out to me. That's fine. But in class, no. We have to like stick to SCSS. You have a question? How do you? That's what I do.
That link, that domain link, is it the website? That website. That domain name.
This is your website. What you are creating is your website. Now, I'm not going ahead to like give you everything because you cannot know everything at once, step by step. Okay, why are you asking? Yes.
So that domain link is the website.
Yes, it's a link to the website. Yes, it's a link to your website. Okay, you have the question. Yeah.
And my question is, maybe if it's a website like Jumia and you order it, so how could the owner of the website like
See the